Hey guys, so I do need your help. I've made a video called something like TR8S Digitakt Killer ? Should I release it? It was a while ago since I released another rant, so should I? So if you've been on any synth forum this week, you've seen the Roland TR8S has come out, and people have been posing a ton of questions like, is the Roland TR8S a Digitakt killer? And I will answer that in this video and talk a little bit about the new drum machine from Roland. So let's go to Sweden. This has been a talking point on every forum that I've been, a part of, and I might have contributed a little bit to the discussions here and there, poking some fun at the people saying that it's the Digitakt killer, because of course, I'm the Digitakt guy, one of the Digitakt guys. I really love it, or the Digitakt as it's pronounced in Swedish. And just a clarification, this video is based on doing a ton of work on the Digitakt, having worked with the TR8, but I don't have any hands-on experience with TR8S. I've just read the manuals that are out there, and I've only seen the videos that are out there. This is more a response to the conversation, the hyped up sort of Digitakt killer, the TR8S will rule the world sort of thing. So that's why I'm making this video, basically. So talking a little bit about the TR8S, it's a stereo drum machine and sample player. You have a new SD card reader, so you can import samples to it. You can also play the kind of classic drum sounds with the, I think it's called ACB technology, sort of virtual analog, I suppose, technology that lets you play drum sounds from the classic drum machines from Roland. And yeah, that sounds really cool, and it also has a ton of different effects options, much more so than the Digitakt. So at this point you might start to think, isn't this, since it's priced similarly to the Digitakt, isn't it really looking like a Digitakt killer? Now, the main reason why I don't think it is because I don't really think it's a comparable product. I think they are very much geared towards different use cases. Based on the videos I've seen and reading the manuals that are out there, I just don't think it's that deep compared to the Digitakt. Now, there are a ton of options for the samples, but the way that the TR8S is laid out makes it seem that it doesn't really have this kind of in-depth sample tweaking that the Digitakt has. For example, sample end and start points, seeing the sample as a waveform, and this is something that sets the Analog Rhythm Mark II apart from the Digitakt as well, that the Digitakt has this possibility that you can see the waveform, which is really handy when you come to think about it. It's quite important. Also, while the TR8S does have an LFO, it doesn't seem to have the same in-depth LFO destinations and the same in-depth and kind of complex LFOs that the Electron stuff usually have. But I'm still really intrigued by the TR8S because it seems just a really fun drum machine with a lot of hands-on control, and this is something that I've criticized the Digitakt and Analog Rhythm for lacking in that department, not having enough dedicated knobs per track, for example, and having this kind of fast and quick workflow. The Drum Brute, on the other hand, is a drum machine I really enjoy for that particular reason. So if I get the chance, I will test out the TR8S and see what I think about it, but I don't really foresee it dethroning the Digitakt when it comes to being this kind of all-in-one groovebox type sampler. There is also, of course, the key difference that the Digitakt has a much deeper sequencer in terms of the parameter lock, the sound locks. So you might say, isn't like the Digitakt doesn't have fewer voices with only 8 voices, and I think it's 12 or more on the TR8S. I don't have the facts sheet, memorized just yet. But in regards to that, you have to remember that the strengths of the Electron stuff is the parameter locks and the sound locks. So essentially what you can do on the Electron stuff is that you can have a sound change per step to another sample, whichever you want, that's loaded into the project. And you can also tweak the sample individually per step based on a number of different parameters. So that's something I think is very interesting. Oh, and I just thought about it, like the graphical representations on the Digitakt also makes it a much more capable Groovebox workstation. So I'm ultimately making this little rant here because I think it's such an ill-informed comparison. On the one hand, you have a super capable drum sequencer with a ton of hands-on control, and you can play back samples and you have multiple outputs, and all the good stuff is kind of live oriented, very capable in that regard. And on the other hand, you have this little bit strange, very deep, complex drum sampler that can do synth sounds, because that's something that sets it apart as well, the way you can create your own synth sounds on the Digitakt. And it's not just about if you can do it, it's all tied into the design. The design on the Digitakt is made for exploration, made for creative use cases. It has very deep polyrhythmic functions as well. Not to say that the TR8S doesn't. It's just that the way the Digitakt stuff, Electron stuff in general is designed is very deep. Now, to the untrained eye and ear, it might sound like I'm not hyped about the TR8S, but I am. I'm just not hyped about the comparison with the Digitakt. But I'd love to try one out. I'd love to use one. I'm not sure if I really need another drum machine at the moment, but I think I would like the challenge to see if I can make some really cool stuff with just the TR8. That would be cool. Oh, and not to forget, I by no means think that the Digitakt has a very deep sample engine compared to something like the Octatrack or the MPC Live. Those are more full samplers, great dedicated samplers. The Digitakt sort of a sampler light. But where does that put the TR8S? So, I'm curious, what do you think? Is the Roland TR8S, is it a Digitakt killer? What is it? Are you intrigued by it? This is something you want? And I guess also I'd like to know why. So leave a little comment down below if you're keen to do so. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little ranty video. I did ask on Instagram if you guys wanted me to do this video, and most of you wanted me to, like an overwhelming amount wanted me to rant about this. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope to see you in a future video. Press the subscribe button if you want to, and leave a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it. So have a great day.